Good morning and welcome, listeners. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 1220 AM and 98.1 FM. This is SCVI Charter Schools, Our Way on the Highway. I am Kevin Becker, an upper school facilitator at SCVI, and I am very honored to be here guest hosting today. We have a really fantastic show for you, but before we get started, if you've been a regular listener to KHTS, you may be curious to find out even more about SCVI Charter School. Whether it is to learn more about us for your kids or your grandkids or the neighbor or really anybody, or to learn about how you can partner with us, tonight is a really great opportunity. SCVI is hosting a prospective family night beginning at 6:30 p.m. on our campus. When you're there tonight, you can learn more about why we believe in project-based learning, why SCVI focuses on social-emotional learning as equal to the academic rigor we provide. You can meet our staff and find out how you can become a part of the school. So come on down to 28060 Hasley Canyon Road, that is in Castaic. It's right where Hasley Canyon and Commerce Drive meet. We're starting at 6:30 p.m. in our big Shakespeare Theater that's right across from the Jack in the Box if you're trying to figure out where to park. Speaking of learning more about elements of SCVI's philosophy, we have some really fantastic guests here today to talk about the importance of play and to help us articulate why SCVI and iLead schools also value play-based learning. Wendy Ruiz and Jennifer Taby from Little iLeaders program, which is a partner with SCVI, and Jeremiah Dockeray from SCV Adventure Play. One of the things that we do at SCVI and iLead schools is that we understand the value of play, both as a learning method, but also as something that's developmentally appropriate, not just for 4-year-olds, but for everyone. If anyone knows me, they know I love to play around a lot, so I can absolutely attest to that. So welcome, guys. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So let's take a moment right now and just go ahead and if you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves, what you do, why you believe that play-based learning is so important.
Where are we starting with?
Sure, let's go for it.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I'm Wendy Ruiz. I help to run the Little iLeaders preschool on campus, infant, toddler, and preschool program on the SCVI campus. I'm also faculty for ECE at College of the Canyons. And definitely play-based has been the theme of pretty much how I've always believed in supporting children and supporting college students.
Absolutely. I'm Jennifer Taby. I'm a facilitator at Little iLeaders, and also I'm a parent of my daughter who goes to SCVI. And I chose this program because it is about play, because it's so meaningful when it involves you. Like if you're getting, something like a ditto or something, and the ditto is showing you, okay, here's a worksheet on Play-Doh and here's a Play-Doh recipe. How is that meaningful? If you're getting the flour and the salt and whatever, and then you're going to make it and see it and create it, that's way more meaningful, right? And you're still going to learn those elements. So that's kind of the idea of projects and like learning through play,
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm Jeremiah Dockeray. I am the program director and lead play worker at SCV Adventure Play, a local nonprofit. For me, play is really fun, and I think that stands on its own. But at the same time, there are so many benefits from allowing it to happen and giving it space to happen that we could be here for much longer than our prescribed hour. So I'll try and leave time for that.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. So to take it kind of down to basics, what is play-based learning for people who are hearing, okay, well, my kids play. Is that the same as play-based learning, or what exactly are we talking about?
So really play-based learning is learning through doing, through exploring, through, as Jeremiah was saying, it's just natural and fun, but also they learn in the end as well. So it's really authentic. It comes from the learner, from the child. It's child-led versus adult-led. And it's really just, it's that. They're learning from the basis of play, which means their hands are going to get in it, their feet are going to get in it, and if that all happens, then their mind gets in it. So that's where it comes from.
What is that? What does she say? If it's been in the hands, it goes in the brain. Mm-hmm. Is that Bev Foss or whoever says? It is. It's if you've touched it, if you felt it, it goes into the brain in a much, much more real way than if you're listening to someone recite something to you per se, I guess.
Agreed.
I don't know.
And I agree with that. I think that, we at the nonprofit, we focus on play not necessarily as a way of learning, but we know that there are so many benefits to having play in all spaces that are possible, that we try to find those fronts. And definitely school is one of those things where kids spend a lot of time, and we want to make sure that they have that mental and physical space to do so.
Jennifer, you actually mentioned a name that I'd love to touch on. You mentioned Bev Boss, right? Can you guys tell us a little bit about who is Bev Boss and what she's given to this idea?
The show is not long enough.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the conference that I just attended, was at her program, at her center, at Roseville Community Center. And really, what I learned from Bev Boz, and what I've, from the many, many years that I've been learning from her and will continue to learn from her, is that it's, from her perspective, she's taught us all that play just needs to be real and authentic and relevant, and really ultimately connected to a child's emotion. And that if you have those three things, then you really can't go wrong. And so she's really, she's taught us she's kind of reminded us just to step back and just let it happen and stop getting in the way and stop hijacking children's play, but really just be there and be present. That's really important, but not be in the way. And that children know what they're doing, and they have amazing ideas and amazing minds. And if we could just step out of their way, who knows what would happen,
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, because I think there's a lot of parents probably listening and out there that know that kids will find a way how to play no matter the situation they're in, whether you're in the car on a road trip or waiting at the doctor's office to see the dentist or whatever it might be. They're going to figure out a situation, so they don't need to be taught how to do this. They
Not
just
at all.
they just need the barriers to be taken away.
Yeah, that's Bev for you.
Yeah, and I think that can also work with older kids. It works with adults to learn, to reconnect with that piece of themselves that somehow gets, and as an adult, speaking from the adult side of the equation, sometimes it's really hard to get in touch with that. And I think that maintaining relationships with younger people and observing their play really helps to try and get in touch with those things. So I think it goes all the way across as important for every single person.
I love that point. So I teach high school, and I'm a theater artist, and it's really interesting to see kind of how our kids are when they come into high school, because, everything that they've been taught through all of society to this point is like, I don't want to look like I'm silly. I don't want to look weird. And I'm like, okay, let's all pretend to be gorillas for 5 seconds to just get into our bodies. And they're like, no, man, I'm not doing that. So absolutely, this idea of play should transcend more than just...
Yeah, I definitely, as you said, high school students, my college students, when they come into my class, there's koosh bowls on the table and moon sand and so many different things. And they look at the table and they're like, are we learning, or what are we doing? And I said, trust me, it's a win-win. You play and you'll learn at the same time. And it keeps their minds active. It keeps them engaged. They're not playing on their phones anymore. They're not inside conversations. They're fully focused. And so in the beginning, you watch the students and they're kind of like looking at the items and they won't touch them because they're like too embarrassed. Oh, if I pick it up, someone's going to take a picture of me or something. And then next thing you know, I turn around and in about 15, 20 minutes, everyone has something in their hand, a koosh ball or a ball of Play-Doh or something. And then the next class, they're like, did you bring them back? So it's definitely, it doesn't end, it's helping them to play helps you find your passion and helps
that
you
sense
find
of
your
wonder,
joy.
that sense of wonder. And we
It's
just did that in our retreat too, like a professional development retreat too. It's just, we kind of put ourselves in uncomfortable positions, the way that, children might feel, the way that they might feel. So we want to keep doing that as facilitators too, like make sure that we get out of their way, right? And just, because the more that we're directing them, their sense of wonder is gone now, right? There is no sense of wonder because I'm directing your every move. So that's, let them be, they're fantastic. They really are.
Yeah, that's really important. I think that as the play worker profession kind of defines play, is that it is, freely chosen and self-directed and intrinsically motivated. And sometimes in a school setting, you can't always have all of that, 100%, but finding that nice balance between what you guys need to do and what the play can be is really important. And I think
Yeah.
you guys have a good head about finding that stuff.
Yeah, that balance.
So to kind of shift over to put some focus on Jeremiah here, can you tell us a little bit about what SCV Adventure Play is and how it works?
Okay. Well, we're a nonprofit, and what we do is we work together in partnership with schools, groups in general of any sort that are looking for ways to have their kids have access to like real self-directed play. And we provide play workers and materials for that to happen. And we've done a lot of workshops and things on these kinds of topics because we also believe that culturally there's a lot to untangle with the way parenting culture happens, and the, shall we say, the plague of the helicopter parent, as I kind of jokingly want to say. But we try and help find those opportunities for kids to play, because our relationship with who we work with is really interesting, because at the end of the day we consider the kids, the players, the people that are doing the playing to be our clients, and we have to work through the adult agendas that surround that. And so what we often have to do is work with the adults in a way that helps to untangle that culture of rigidity around children and what they need to be doing at all times. So we do pop-up adventure playgrounds in parks, on the street, in the backyard, on the roof, wherever you guys want to do it. And we scout that location. We bring appropriate stuff as well, and we're also developing our permanent adventure playground spot in the Valverde Castaic area. So,
Which is amazing.
That's amazing.
it's a cool spot. Wendy's been out there. A couple of you
Yeah.
have all been out there. Yeah. We're always looking for new places where there's barriers put up that we can help break down between kids and their play and adults in their play as well. So, reach out to us. We're happy to have those conversations, even if it's just a conversation. We love to talk about it. So.
And if someone did want to reach out to you, what would be the best way to get a hold of you guys?
Sure. Well, we have a website, scvadventureplay.com. We are on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Twitter sometimes. And we are also reachable by email, info@scvadventureplay.com. You can give us a call. All our contact info is on the website, and happy to talk to anybody that has questions about starting a program, moving forward with something, or has questions about what we do.
Wonderful. Thank you. So I have another question for you guys. So we're talking about play-based learning, and we're talking about getting rid of rigidity and really letting kids go. So what are some of the challenges that come with that? Because I mean, as somebody who works in project-based and social emotional learning, I know that just being like, great, let's chase your passion, sometimes it's like, oh God, don't do that. So what are some of the challenges that you found along the way?
Probably the biggest challenge is getting the parents to understand the value as well, because often we get we want to bring our children to schools so they can start learning something, and then they get confused of, well, how are they learning anything in your program? And so then they might say, well, we're going to leave and go somewhere that's more academic. And so helping them to see the value of it and see the learning in action, which happens through a lot of photographs and a lot of dialogue. But the most challenging part is play-based learning isn't as visual. It's
To record it or track it or test it.
It's not testable. But yet you hear the conversations of the learners, and you see them in action, and you see them problem solving on their own. You see them working things out with another classmate, and it's play-based learning not only encourages and supports academic skills, but it supports life skills. And those aren't things you're going to see tomorrow or the next day. You might see them in 3 months or 6 months or 5 years. And so it's hard to help parents to see it's okay to just let it happen. We promise they're going to get there. So it's kind of getting the parents on the same page, because it's not as visual as
Yeah,
you know.
well, it's a process and not a
Yeah,
product. You don't
right,
have a,
exactly.
here's everyone built a birdhouse today, and here's what it looks like.
Absolutely.
And I painted
Right.
mine red, or whatever.
That's I was gonna say that.
It looks different from every learner. You can't walk in some places, like if everyone did a birdhouse or everyone did we're making whatever today, you look on the board and every child's looks the same. That doesn't show the learning, that just shows that they followed the steps. But if you come in and everyone's looks completely different, that's where the learning comes, because wow, that child, look at how he used these materials and look how he used these materials and how they processed it, and that just it's a deeper sense of learning, but that's the biggest challenge is helping parents to see it's okay, we promise they're still going to succeed at wherever they're at.
Well, to pick up on that, I think it's refocusing that you can trust kids to do things and not murder each other and not do all these kinds of things that our active imaginations want to throw in there. And I think a lot of times, in addition to letting other parents and things know that or learn that cultural distance, you also yourself are checking your own baggage that you bring to.
Absolutely.
That's a constant thing for me as a play worker is checking in with myself and being like, is this because I got left out of something when I was a child,
Right.
and I'm having a gut reaction to this, and sometimes you have to step back and let that social and emotional learning and dynamic play out a little bit further and really see where it's going. But it's a constantly evolving.
Yeah, it's an inner battle.
Yes.
That when I was in
So
school,
important.
I had textbooks and homework and all of these things, and I came out this way, so it must work for them. And I just wish, and so it's hard for some
To
of the adults
validate
and
it
the parents to say, why aren't they doing homework and why aren't they doing this and why aren't they sitting at a desk and studying for hours and hours when they're getting all of that? It just looks different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think this, for me too, I just remember this is why I chose it as a facilitator and as a parent. I put my child here. I wish that there was something like this for me growing up. But so I just remember, I didn't have that social emotional connection like at my school. I was very much like learn your ABCs. Why am I learning my ABCs for what? But so I had that. So I just remember, even if sitting at circle time. I'm a highly emotional person. I'm sitting at circle time. I am not focusing on your circle time book. Maddie pulled my hair on the playground, and I'm not over that because we didn't talk about it because that was not the focus. The focus was sit at circle time. You need to sit down. So for me, I struggled. So this is why I really sought this out, is that we focus on that whole child first. We're going to focus on you first. The learning will come when you are socially, emotionally available and able to self-regulate and then you will listen. The listening will come. The learning will come. But that has to start first. That has to be first, in my opinion.
No, I love that.
Beautifully said,
As somebody who teaches the kids when they get up to high school, it's very much at the heart of everything that we do. I mean, project-based learning isn't, we're all going to build a birdhouse, but let's paint it like The Great Gatsby. I don't know. That's a weird high school project that I would never do. But you get to kind of design it along their way. You get to say to them, okay, I want you to express to me that you know these things. How do you want to? I mean, I can't count how many times in high school I made a trifold, and I was just like, I guess I'll paste this picture in this corner. Got a good grade. Bye. I would have loved a school like this, and I think that a lot of education is starting to catch up with that. I think that we're going to start to see that trend shift because my kids tell me, I'm sure your kids tell you, if they know I care about them, then they're more likely to do something. So I think that's an important thing about what you're talking about with play-based learning. I think that's an important thing that Little Eye Leaders, that SCV Adventure Play, that SCVI all do very, very well, is that we aren't just sit there in that thing and then tell me about the War of 1812.
And put on a trifold.
Yeah, it happened in 1812.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remember about the War of 1812.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pause us here. We're going to go ahead and take a short break, but stay tuned because when we come back, we will be talking further with our guests, Wendy Ruiz and Jennifer Taby from Little Eye Leaders and Jeremiah Dockeray from SCV Adventure Play. You are listening to SCVI Charter Schools Our Way on the Highway. I am your host, Kevin Becker, and this is your hometown station, KHTS. We'll be right back.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
At the Burrito Factory, their motto has always been to serve quality food with fast, friendly service. But did I mention the taste? When it comes to authentic taste and huge mouth-watering burritos, the Burrito Factory is second to none. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or a catered event, Burrito Factory has the taste of Mexico to satisfy your craving. Burrito Factory on Soledad Canyon Road next to Chi-Chi's Pizza in Canyon Country. Stop in or call ahead 288-0222.
Starting a landscape project? SCV Water is available to help you from start to finish. At their free gardening classes, you'll learn planning, design, and budget, plant selection and care, irrigation and maintenance, sustainable landscape basics, and so much more. Visit yourscvwater.com for a schedule of free gardening classes. That's yourscvwater.com.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 1220 on the AM dial and 98.1 FM. I'm Kevin Becker from SCVI Charter Schools, Our Way on the Highway. Welcome back, and welcome back to our awesome guests. A quick reminder before we get back to them, though. Tonight at SCVI Charter, we will be hosting a prospective family night. And this is where the community can come. You can hear more about our unique project-based learning curriculum. You can meet some staff. The staff from Little Eye Leaders will be there because we want all of our families to be interested in enrolling their learners at SCVI, and we want them to know everything that they can going in. We also want you guys to know that we have a preschool and after-school care. So if you are interested in all of that, please come on and down tonight at 6:30 p.m. in our Shakespeare Theater right across from the Jack in the Box and check it out. So before the break, we were talking a little bit about the importance of play-based learning. So for anyone who is still kind of in the esoteric mode of like, oh, I understand what play is, but how dost I learn? Because they're esoteric, so they might as well be fancy. So if I walked into an area where you guys were working, where play-based learning was going on, what's something I might see? What kind of things might I am so excited for this question.
Oh boy, mud pit. No, just kidding.
Yeah, it's pretty funny when we bring families in for tours, and you just never, you're either gonna get the parent or not, because we are who we are. We're real authentic. The children come in and they're either covered in mud, or the last tour I just did, completely covered in marker because they were doing makeup, their own version of makeup with markers from head to toe, like in multiple colors.
Non-toxic,
yes. Or covered in paint. Or what I tell families is that when your child leaves the program, you should see everything they've done that day just on their bodies, because it's so. And if they come home clean, we've done something wrong. So it's really, that's what you see. When you come in, you have to watch your step because you don't know what you're stepping on. It could be some oatmeal or some goop or slime or some fun concoction of all three. When a child runs up and hugs you, you be prepared because you're going to be wearing it too. So it's really, what you're not going to see is you're not going to see children sitting at desks and behind with a ditto or coloring sheet. You're going to see children completely 100% engaged and all doing their own thing. But with intention, though, the facilitators have meaningful, intentional curriculum planned. It's just that the learners figure out how to use it after that. It's just not directed. They put out curriculum based off the children's interests, based off their development, and then the learners just go with it. Yeah. And so it's kind of, I can tell you every classroom will look completely different.
It travels. Yeah. Things travel. Like,
in the hallway.
It's appropriate though. If I have oatmeal in my sensory bin, it's completely appropriate to then travel that to the kitchen area, right? That's brilliant for the child. So why would we? Yeah, it's going to be messy, but that's okay.
Love it.
Yeah, but it's good. Yeah. Every day will look different, and every classroom will look different. Every minute will look different.
Yes.
A thing that's come up a couple times, and I just wanted to kind of touch on it just in case anyone in our listening audience isn't sure. You've mentioned a couple times a ditto, and I was wondering if somebody could define what that is for us, just because I'm a big nerd, and I'm like, is it a Pokemon? I don't know.
Sorry, old term. So a worksheet or something that says color in the penguin because we're focusing on the letter P, or yeah, it's anything that's printed out from a computer that we're handing to a child and prescribing what they're going to be doing.
Right, or the same idea of everyone's birdhouse, or everyone is making a cat today, or that's
Any sort of product.
not necessarily ditto, but just we're all product. Yeah,
Right.
we are all making this.
Instead, we'll give them blank paper and the materials, and then they are going to create whatever it is, depending on what's going on in their mind. There may be some sort of great project going on that they're really into. Maybe I'm trying to think of it like
trains
a research
or
project.
something.
Right,
or,
trains or balls or dinosaurs, and so then we might put things out that match those colors, or we might put a dinosaur in the middle of the table, so then that might inspire them to maybe draw their own version of a dinosaur, or we might put in a bouquet of flowers, and that'll inspire them to use colors based off of those flowers. So we inspire ideas, but we don't prescribe them, which is what a ditto or a worksheet would do.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
We're definitely outside the lines. No lines needed.
No lines.
Excellent. Can you tell us a little bit about Little Eye Leader's philosophy? And because I think that it is probably assumed, since they're Little Eye Leaders is on the SCVI campus, that it is a part of SCVI, but instead it's important to note that we're partners. So can you tell us a little bit about how it got started, what the philosophy is?
Absolutely. So, yeah, we're definitely a separate entity from SCVI. We're on the same campus, so it does help to support the learners, the SCVI learners and families, in that we offer infant, toddler, preschool, and after-school care. It got started way back when, having a conversation with Amber Raskin and saying that, this philosophy of I Lead Schools, it just lends itself to a younger audience. It lends itself to a preschool and infant toddler program where we can, if anything, we can help to nurture the families at an earlier age. So then if they do choose to make that path to SCVI for kindergarten and up, they already have that understanding and that philosophy. And it just seemed like it was a perfect fit.
Awesome. Excellent. So, Jeremiah, I have a question for you. One of the words that comes up when I'm reading about things like SCV Adventure Play is this idea of professional play work. What is professional play work?
Okay, well, a play worker is an individual who philosophically, physically, mentally is there to support the play of the people under whom they are charged to be with. It's not really a supervising kind of thing, though we do watch over kids. It's sometimes likened to being a lifeguard. The lifeguards aren't always in the pool, though, so we're not quite like that because we try to be more in with the kids. We try not to be off to the side, folding our arms and staring. We try to let kids know through our body language and our interactions with them that we are there to support them and not to inhibit them. And so often it might seem like a play worker is taking a nap or not really paying attention to what's going on around them, though we really practice our focus on what's going on around us, but also practice what has been coined benign neglect, which is a term that I kind of use in my head to let kids to have a way of letting things happen, knowing that there are good outcomes on the way. And so a play worker, it's argued a lot about exactly how to define that term, but we often like to be likened to ninjas, wizards, things that we can, because I like the ninja philosophy where when I try to anticipate kids' needs during play. So I might see that they're building something and they might need more nails and they might need some duct tape. And so instead of saying, "Hey guys, I have some duct tape over here," I might, without interrupting what they're doing, sneak very close and place it nearby. So what I'm doing is not breaking their what they call the play frame, but that's getting really deep in the play nerd stuff. But we try not to interrupt what they're going through, if at all possible. So we are often, if we are sitting and kind of looking like we're lounging around, then things are going pretty well around us. So yeah, there you go. Cut it, print it. That's what it is.
Nailed it. Check it out, Webster. Put it in your dictionary.
I think we need to change that
I think
facilitator name
that's
to
great.
Ninjas and Wizards.
Yes.
Did you see that?
I love that.
So
I love
great,
that.
though. That's so great.
That's awesome.
So let's say somebody just heard that definition and they're like, oh, I want to do that. That's exactly what I want to do. Is there a degree in play work? Is there a training seminar? How can somebody learn more about how to get into this?
Well, in the United States, it is still somewhat of a new and budding concept, though if someone was interested in being trained in play work, I would look at Pop-Up Adventure Play, which is an international charity that helped us start our nonprofit, and helps lots and lots of people all over the world. They have an online course that they do, and I highly recommend them. Very, very excellent people. There are also, from what I understand, starting to be some playwork offerings in colleges in the United States. I believe Clemson University has a minor in playwork now, but that is all I know of in the States. Now, you go over to the UK, where there are 100 different adventure playgrounds just in London, much less 6 or 7 in the entire United States. There, you can get a PhD in playwork. You can do all sorts of things there that just has not spread out into where we are now. So it's a kind of a budding movement here, has been going for a few years. And there are a lot of people behind the scenes that I've had conversations with trying to help that become a more certified profession in the States. So, yeah.
I want a PhD in play work.
Absolutely.
I want that. I want to
Sounds
be
so
like,
fun.
hello, I'm
Yeah.
a doctor in playing, and
I
then
know.
watch everybody not listen to me anymore.
Absolutely. Oh, it's great.
I'd
know.
sign up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know a couple that are very close to their PhDs, and they're very much
That's so
my
cool.
Yodas. So, yeah.
I love that.
That's wonderful. Well, I am going to keep my eye out then, because that sounds like something that I want to see more of.
Yeah.
So, for me, one of my favorite ways to express why something is important to me is through stories. I'm a storyteller. I love telling stories. I love hearing stories. So, I wanted to take a moment to ask you guys: do any of you have a story of just like one of your favorite moments of play, like something that made you laugh, something that made you feel like, oh yeah, we're doing it right, or just something that you're like, this is a silly story, but I want to tell it.
You should start when I have a story, but it's not. I have a story, but it's not. I don't know if it's like a fun, silly story, but just emotionally for me. Like again, like I already brought up my childhood. Let's talk about that. No, just kidding. But I just remember, I struggled. I struggled a little bit in school because I did not do well with you giving me directions and then I'm going to try, or you telling me do this, and I did not. That was not great for my brain. So I already like made a decision. I'm not good at math. I made a decision. I'm not. My self-esteem, everything was so. Even if I probably could have been good at math, which now I'm fine. I do fine as an adult because I've learned a different way. But I just made that decision, and then it just kind of that guided me the whole time. So then I just wasn't great at that. So my daughter had a fantastic kindergarten teacher at SCVI, and she would come home and she kind of set up like almost like a running store. It was like this store that they had. Like, if you want to buy something from the store, here's your bucks, and you got to use your bucks. And they kind of made it like a running thing the entire year. So my daughter would come home like, I made this mega buck today, and then I'm going to save my mega buck though, because like this like delayed gratification. I know what I'm going to save it because I want the big toy. I don't want to keep buying the small stuff. And she was just so involved in it. And what really hit home for me was when she finally, like one day, she kept talking about it every day. And I was like, God. But she brought it up and she just said, Mom, like, I'm so good at math. I'm good at math because, like, look, I got the toy. Like, I waited and I budgeted and I spent this, and I'm so good at math. And for her, this is math. And I'm just like, wow, like, I never said those words, And I feel like just her self-esteem is wrapped up into it. So she's already made that decision. So I think she'll be open-minded going into the next phase, and she'll be able to receive the information without this stigma of like, oh, math, which we all, like a lot of us have. And I just think that's beautiful. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for her teacher at SCVI. so thankful.
I wish I'd learned a budget in kindergarten.
Yeah,
instead of
she's great.
last
But
week.
yeah,
I got
balance
a lot
my
less student
checkbooks.
loans.
Yeah.
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 No, I mean, I don't know. I can't think of one moment. All I know is that when I, learned about Bev Boz and learned about the play concept and play-based learning, I just kind of felt like I'd found my people, like that was where I belonged, and to go into environments, and I've been really fortunate to work in all programs that have been play-based, to go into those programs and just see children genuinely happy, is all that I needed. I hear parent stories all the time telling us how their children just come home so happy, and that's all that they, and I have a learner at SCVI as well who's going into 9th grade. He's been there since kindergarten, and to know that he's had that support the whole time, and he comes home and he just knows that he's loved and he's supported, and then also he's learning too, is pretty crazy. But there's so many moments, I can't put it into one. It's just who we are.
Yeah, I think that there's always a moment in a play session for me, because we'll do play sessions that are at least 2 hours long. And so listen to that, lawmakers, about recess times. I'm just going to throw that out there. It's very important. But about an hour into a play session, there's it starts out with a very frenzied activity, running around. What can I touch? What can I throw? What can I do? It's kind of what we call an inhibition collapse. After you're in a rigid environment, you're at something, they have to sit at your desk or do it, and they run outside or they run into the session, and they're just like, it's bonkers.
Yeah.
And then about an hour, everybody settles into it, and then all of a sudden, there's just this calm energy that comes over the place. Even if there is loud, big playing going on, you can just feel that everybody has fallen into the place that they want to be, which is quite a different energy than a place where everybody has to be doing the same thing at the same time. And I feel like that's a really important moment to sense that moment and be like, that's okay, awesome. Everybody's doing all right. But as a specific, if we have time, I have a little story that really helped me understand that this can work, this trusting of kids. We were doing a pop-up for an elementary school in the Burbank area, and they had about, I want to say 300,000 kids. And I was out there. I had been prepping for the whole thing for a month. We put out all of our stuff. We had boxes and string and tape and fabric and all sorts of stuff out in this big grassy area. And I was very nervous because it was my first time doing something with that many kids. And they released them from the school, and it was a wall of screaming, excited kids just like hurling towards us like a Lord of the Rings or something. And as it kind of washed over me and they were playing and whatever, I kind of was just looking around like, okay, who's going to whack somebody? Who's going to fall off of something? Who's going to get, hurt? And I eventually, about 20 minutes in, there was a girl that was, I want to say she was about 30 yards away from me, but she was stomping on the ground and screaming, in a way that I was very worried, like, oh, okay, something's happened. So I quickly hurried my way over to her, and as I got closer, I realized that she was not screaming because she was hurt. She was stomping her feet and screaming and having some sort of fit of joy and saying, "This is so much fun!" And I was like, okay, all right, cool. And the day went on. It set me at ease. It set me in a place where I'm like, okay, I can trust kids to do this. Not that people don't ever get hurt when they're playing, but to have that trust and know, and go after these kinds of sessions when you have and try to foster relationships, because I feel like one other thing that you can mention is long-term relationships with kids and with players is also really important. It allows them to get even deeper into their play, into their learning, and so one-off fun times are really great and always like a nice way to have a pressure release and all that kind of stuff. But when you have times together over time where they can come back to this place or come back to this situation where they know they can continue in the way that they need to, it's very heartening, I guess, for me as an adult and getting what I want out of it, not to mention all of the things that they're getting out of it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
and
that was my moment where I was like, okay, this can work.
Love it. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
So one last question before we go to break. So Jeremiah, earlier in the program, you mentioned that you guys bought a park.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about where it's located, what we can expect, what that's going to look like?
Well, we're right now Eureka Villa, what we've named the playground, is about a 2-acre park in the Val Verde area that has trees and wildness going on around there. And so what we're doing is trying to, right now we're not doing so much on the property as we are trying to raise some funds to get a new fence. It was a spot that had been kind of, as far as I understand, it used to be some sort of county park and abandoned, put in private hands, abandoned for like 30 years, and we bought it when I was looking for, in my playwright training, looking for a spot to assess as an adventure playground. And I found this spot, and I fell in love with it, and that's kind of where it went from there. So what we do mostly right now are trying to get our programs in our pop-up arena around town and partnering with others. We're trying to start a hospital program. We're trying to start something with the library and any schools, that are interested. We're very happy to talk with them as well. But we, in the park, we are hoping to have a place that can permanently be set aside for kids to come in and have that space that is necessary with the play workers around. They can come and go as they please and have a place where all that stuff can just be and understood.
That's fantastic. That's really, really great. We're going to talk a little bit more with these guys, but it is time again for a short commercial break. Stay tuned for our wrap-up. You're listening to SCVI Charter Schools Our Way on the Highway. I am your host, Kevin Becker, on your hometown station, KHTS.
Live life juiced up at Juice It Up Valencia. Come in and try our great tasting smoothies, protein shakes, acai, and wheatgrass for your healthy lifestyle on the go. Also, enjoy our 10 flavors of tantalizing zinc frozen yogurt and selection of healthy toppings. Juice It Up Valencia is located at the corner of Newhall Ranch Road and Copper Hill Drive in the Office Depot Plaza. Open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. and Sundays from 8 until 8. And remember to live life juiced up at Juice It Up Valencia.
The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
Lots of people can build websites, but there's one Santa Clarita company that specializes in designing websites for your business. Small Dog Creative. The Small Dog Creative team is made up of local designers who are hands-on. Their talented team of experts build premium websites and redefine branding. Small Dog Creative doesn't just build websites. They'll upgrade your business's online presence and turn your business into a powerful online brand. Small Dog Creative, Santa Clarita's most innovative web and design company. SmallDogCreative.com.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 1220 on the AM dial and FM at 98.1. I am Kevin Becker of SCVI Charter School, and we are here with some fantastic people talking about play-based learning. So during the break, we were having a little conversation, and we were talking about relationships and continuing relationships. And Wendy, you said something about continuing relationships and something that you're going to be doing at Little Eye Leaders, and I wanted to kind of shine a little spotlight on that because it's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremiah had just mentioned about how valuable it is to have relationships and how that if you have those relationships over time, their play gets even deeper and more meaningful. And so we've connected with that as well in Little Eye Leaders, and we just started continuity of care in our program where Jennifer had the children in the toddler room from when they were 18 months, and now they're 3, and she's going with them to the preschool room. So she'll have them from when they were 18 months until they leave for kindergarten. And we also have a preschool teacher who's going to start in the infant room who will then take them from as young as 6 weeks until they leave for kindergarten. And so they'll have different environments, so environments that are conducive for their development, but the same caregiver in that same relationship. And knowing that meaningful connections, that if they have that safe space with one person, that the learning is going to come so much easier, and they'll truly be themselves because they won't have to continue to readjust to someone new every time. So we're really excited about that.
That is really cool. That's very exciting. We do something similar in the high school. We have our high school advisories, and so in my advisory, I'll get a kid when they come in 9th grade, and I'll have them every year, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And I know that in the lower and middle school, they have teachers for the same 2 years. You know, I have the same kindergarten and first grade, and then second and third, and 4, 5. So it's really I really love that idea of building these relationships because it's part of the reason that I got into education, and I absolutely love it. One of the questions, Jeremiah, that I didn't get to ask you before the break is if families are looking to try out SCV Adventure Play, they're looking to take their kids somewhere, where can we kind of find you guys? Because you're all over the place.
Yes, we are kind of all over the place. Right now, I don't have a lot to announce as far as what we're doing for the open to the public. But we follow us on Facebook. We always are making events about when our next pop-up is going to be. If you're interested in instigating your own pop-up, you can definitely give us a call or an email. Like I said, we'll do things in the park. We'll do things on the street. We'll do things, in the back of a moving vehicle. It's all sorts of cool things that we can do.
And he'll be at the COC Play Day.
And yes, we always make a point of having the COC Play Day as a nice touch point for us as well. But we are currently working on several different things. We're trying to work something together with LA Parks and Rec. We're also working with SCV Arts. And several other organizations to try and get some things put together so that we can have a regular presence in certain spaces. Right now, the only space that we are currently, often in is at the Huckleberry Learning Center for, homeschoolers. So I know some eye leaders do go there and do things as well. So we have some things around, but that's the one that we're kind of currently static in. So yes. But give us a call.
Brilliant. And if they wanted to reach you, they would do so at scvadventureplay.org.
Yes.
And then you are on Facebook and Instagram at SCV Adventure Play. Is that correct?
That's it, yes.
Awesome. Love it. Now, Little Eye Leaders, we at SCVI are having a prospective family night tonight at 6:30. Right. Quick plug. And you guys are going to be there, right?
Yeah, Candace will be there tonight to share about Little Eye Leaders as well as the after-school program and answer any questions. They can see the site. It's in the same location as the K1 learners. So as parents come to see either, or they can come, if they're looking for after-school care or infant, toddler, or preschool, come check us out.
And just so we know, what age ranges, if parents are looking, they're like, okay, I want to get my kid in.
Yeah, so we provide care for 6 weeks until they leave for kindergarten. Yeah.
Okay, wow. All right. And you can reach Little Eye Leaders. You can go to littleeyeleaders.org, or you can follow them on Facebook or Instagram at Little Eye Leaders. That's really exciting. I did mention it just a moment ago, but I do want to remind everybody that we are going to have an SCVI Prospective Family Night tonight. There you can learn about enrolling your learner for the 2019-2020 school year. We are at 28060 Hasley Canyon Road in Castaic, and we begin at 6:30 p.m. in our Shakespeare Theater. For those of you who are always looking for parking, we are right across from the Jack in the Box. It is a very large campus, but right across from Jack in the Box is our theater. You can come by, learn about our many education options that we have. We don't just do site-based learning. We also have our innovations program, which is a fantastic hybrid program. We've got iLead Online, we've got Home Study, Explorations, all of these really fantastic options because we believe in meeting your kids where they are instead of trying to force them into the mold that that other people think that they should be in. And I think that that's a really awesome trend that a lot of people in education are really coming around to. We also have a campus on the east side of the Santa Clarita Valley. We have iLead Agua Dulce. You can find out more about touring that campus and how to enroll your student by going to ileadaguadulce.org. They have a really great outdoor learning space there in Agua Dulce, and it is filled with play. They have, I believe, a chicken coop. So if anybody's feeling really excited about that, you can go and check them out. So please come on by tonight at 6:30 p.m. for the SCVI Prospective Family Night. I almost switched the first two letters in that. I'm sorry. You can come and also hear about our fantastic extracurriculars. For instance, I teach the after-school theater for the high school. We have sports programs. We have our slam poetry. We've got a lot of really great stuff. And, of course, our little iLeaders and our after-school care will be there as well. But unfortunately, that is going to be all the time that we have for today. So I want to say thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming by. This was really fun.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You guys are fantastic. I learned so much today. I learned what my PhD is going to be in.
That's right. Absolutely. And I'm a ninja. I had no idea. No idea.
I'm a ninja wizard doctor.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to go ahead and thank Wendy Ruiz and Jennifer Taby from Little iLeaders and Jeremiah Dockeray from SCV Adventure Play for joining me. So thank you guys again. You are listening to SCVI Charter Schools Our Way on the Highway. I'm your host, Kevin Becker. I do want to take a quick moment to say happy birthday to my mom. It's her birthday, and I'm on the radio. So thank you guys for listening to your hometown station, KHTS. That's 98.1 on the FM and AM 1220. Everybody have a wonderful day.